Hey friends, I had this download come today about the ego, and my original understanding of what the ego is surrounded around the top was around the topic of maybe showing up selfishly or being narcissistic would fall into like me thinking someone living in their ego mind, right? You know, someone who lives too much in their ego, so they're defensive. They're kind of full of themselves. Maybe arrogant would fall into the me thinking someone's living too much in their ego side. But then I realized as I continue to work on, I should say, parts work, shadow work, and inner child work, I'm coming to realize that the ego is more than just that. The ego is almost like this complex creation that we have, and it stems from us creating a certain story about ourselves. It has more to do with the whole of us that encompasses the life we're living. You know, if you're married, then it's going to be your spouse. If you are not married and you're just dating, you know, it's going to have to do. The ego is what creates the character you're playing in that relationship. It creates the characters of your children. And it holds tight to these creations you have, your job, your career, your friends, your house, all of these belief systems you have. Your ego is like all encompassing of the parts that you're playing in this whole film called your life, this whole movie called your life. I don't know if I'm right on with this or not. I do feel like that is what the ego kind of is. And that is why a lot of spiritual teachers would talk about shedding the ego, kind of getting the ego to blend into, you know, you dull it down, for lack of better words, and you cover it in light and you mesh it into the spiritual you, the lighter you, the person who's detached, so to speak, from the outcomes of this world so that you can be more connected to God. So you can be more connected to the part of you that was carved out by God. You were created in the image of our Creator, whatever you use that up. We're all part of that same creation. And so as you shed the ego, you know, the life you created here, as you shed your attachment to it, your strong attachment to it, you start to have a level of inner peace like you wouldn't believe. And it's not detaching does not mean that you don't show up for these people, you don't love these people, you're not playing an active part in your life. It means something more like you're not attached so much that you will have a meltdown if it doesn't work out. You're not attached so much that you will have a freak out if something doesn't go the way you want it to go, right? That's all ego stuff. And the closer you get to shedding your ego in this character you've created for yourself, the better you feel inside with inner peace, and the more spiritual you show up in love and light everywhere. So I don't know. That's my thought on ego. 3.5 minutes later. What's your thoughts on ego? Like, what is your interpretation? I would love to hear what other people would explain ego to be, because I'm still learning, and this is just sort of something that came to me. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to share it with you guys. And I am pretty confident someone out there will share what their version of ego is, or maybe where I kind of got it wrong, so to speak. And you can help open my mind and heart to this concept as well, so that we can help each other on this spiritual journey of healing and showing up in love and light. Talk soon.